Hello and welcome back to the good, the bad, and the ugly series, where today we're going to be focusing on Brazil as we head into the 2026 World Cup. Now, yeah, going into this particular tournament, you look at this Brazil starting 11, and one thing that immediately pops out to me is that they do have some phenomenal players in every single area of the pitch. They have Gabriel, who is, in my opinion, one of the best center backs in the world, alongside Marquinhos, who on form has, really shown that he can be a very, very fantastic center back, especially in the right system. In the middle of the park, they have the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Casemiro, who also found tremendous amount of form with Manchester United in recent months. And then up top, you have Mateus Cunha, Vinicius, Igor Thiago as well, who's been in fantastic form, scoring nearly 20 goals in the Premier League and looked fantastic in Brazil. So in almost every single area of the pitch, especially down that spine, I mean, really, really good, solid physical players that can definitely rise up in the big moments that possess not only technical quality, but tremendous physical strength as well.
Yeah, I mean, their spine is, like you said, is really good. They have one of the five best goalkeepers with Allison. I think when it comes to the center back partnership, I mean, definitely have to be like one of the top three like best ones. Like you said, like
Yeah.
Gabriel is our worst one. And I'm the second best center back in the world. Marquinhos is on great form, top 10 center back. I'm Casemiro, I'm Guimaraes, and then like up top, you have Vini and Rafinha. Yeah, I think in that sense they're very good. Like in the spine. Those are great players. Those are experienced players. So yeah, I do think that is like sort of where they have to put the emphasis and say, if we want to have any type of success in this tournament, these specific guys need to come up and have great tournaments. They cannot
Yeah.
rely on some striker or some right back or left back and hope that, oh man, this guy's just gonna have a World Cup out of this world, and and that's gonna be like the X factor for us. These guys, those guys that we just mentioned, they are the ones that have to be the superstars for them, and they're the ones that have to perform if they even want to. I mean, to be honest, what is their goal in this World Cup? Because
Yeah.
whatever that goal is, they're gonna need those guys to perform at the highest possible level.
And that's kind of a little bit of what the bad is looking like, right? There doesn't really seem to be a very clear objective. I think people mention him as one of the favorites, most because of the fact that it's Brazil and the name and the heritage and all these things. But there's also not a very clear understanding in terms of like, well, who's the talisman? Who's the main guy here? Because on paper it's Vinicius for Real Madrid, but he has not been that for Brazil at all. He has not been that for Brazil at all. There's no clear idea as to who's going to be the guy to lead them over the line. Like leading up to this World Cup, they haven't really shown anything regarding their performances, their results, Copa Americas, qualifications, or anything of that sort to show that they are, the team to look after in CONCACAF. In reality, it's the complete opposite. So like there's just a lot of questions surrounding this Brazilian side, and we don't really know who's going to turn up. Either we can have a team that is flying high with a Mateus Cunha or an Igor Thiago with Vini and Rafinha on either wings, and Guimaraes and Casemiro and Gabriel Marquinhos holding it down, where it's almost impossible to get through that midfield and that back four. It could very well be the case, but I don't have that feeling. I don't get that vibe. In fact, I think it's going to be maybe a quarterfinal exit for them at most. I look at other teams like England, Portugal, Spain, Argentina that could very well find themselves on the same side of the bracket. And I don't think they have really anything to offer these guys that they're going to fear at all.
Yeah, for them, I mean, like you said, it's pretty much everything else other than that spine.
Yeah.
Um, it's the who's gonna perform because a lot of these guys, are, like you said, like Vinicius, extremely underachieving. When it comes to when it comes to like the national team. Um, how is Allison gonna play? How are the center backs gonna play? It's just even the and we could jump into like the ugly, which is like the modern football. Even Ancelotti, he's not a modern football manager. He's actually an old school manager, which is like just vibes. I mean, I don't want to like disrespect him because the guys won 5 Champions League, but that is the way that he has won them, just from being a player coach. And I think
Yeah.
here in this type of tournament, a few years ago, if you were a player coach and you were so much better than everybody else, like they were in 2002, fair enough. Now you are not even close to being better than
Mm.
everybody else. You are actually not only at like at best at the same level, but like your players' performance are so bad for the national team that actually puts you below all the other teams. So they I actually think that they need sort of that extra from the tactical standpoint, and I don't think
Yes.
Ancelotti is gonna give them that. So they
No.
have that. Their fullbacks, I mean, probably like both of
Mm,
the fullbacks are coming from the Brazilian league.
yeah.
Can we even think about Brazil, the nation of fullbacks? And both of the fullbacks are. If you love FIFA and you play FIFA, 10 years ago, this was it. Danilo is gonna be the right back. Danilo, the one that played at City at Juventus, and Alexandro, who was the great left back that played at Juventus 10 years ago. Both of those players play at Brazil right now in the Brazilian league, and those are the starters in that team.
Nah, that's insane.
That just tells you pretty much everything that you need to know. And one thing that actually caught my eye when I was looking at this team is 4 years ago, what was the big like question mark, the big thing that they played with four attackers. They didn't have a clear I'm saying a midfielder that that did both. 4 years have passed on the same and they still have the same problem. They still have the same problem. So when you get to that point is you haven't adapted to the new game. You haven't adapted to the type of fullbacks that play in today's game because you're clearly playing with guys that were good 10 years ago. You haven't adapted to just the tactical aspect of the game, the physicality of the game. So it's just a big mess. And yeah, everybody
Modern
was it. Yeah,
modern football has left
and
them
they got left
behind.
behind. Yeah, they got left behind. Yeah,
Modern football has left them behind. And so I think this sport, it's so crazy, but in a way I also think it's very beautiful. Like heritage really does matter, man. When you think of Brazil and like Joga Bonito and like the free flowing like individual qualities and moments and the beauty, like we are all have all been saying for a long time now that like you don't see that anymore. Hell, like apart from like even like an Erling Holland, like there used to be a time when like having strikers that scored 20 plus goals every single season. There was like 5, 6 of them in every single league. It was insane. Like, think about how many very good strikers there used to be back in the day. Lewandowski, Gonzalo Higuain, Edison Cavani, Kun Agüero, Diego Costa, Fernando Torres. Like, you can go on and on and on and on and on. Those players don't exist anymore, right? And the same thing goes for like Brazil. You would think that this crazy, amazing Brazilian wonder kid in today's modern footballing world would be taking guys apart and doing Rabonas and like beating every single guy 1v1 and breaking down defensive structures. But the way modern football has become, how defensive it's become. When a team sets up in a mid block or a low block, I don't care how good you are in a 1v1 situation, you're not breaking a team down. You are not breaking a team down. The days of 1-to-1 man marking defending where the midfielders are just standing there waiting to receive the ball and all three attackers are waiting on the other end of the pitch, that does not exist anymore. And Brazil has failed to adapt to that. I think it's a part of their DNA. They can adapt to the modern game. And I'm sorry, Ancelotti is a fantastic man manager. He's a perfect person to manage a locker room, keep people happy, have the biggest egos in world football, understand the roles and do it happily. But that is not the kind of manager that you bring in to manage a nation like Brazil that has clearly fallen behind the modern game and can't keep up with the tactical demands that it requires. And there's a reason why
yeah,
Vinicius looks one way
yeah,
at Madrid and looks a very different player at Brazil.
yeah. And to close it out, one of the things where I feel like Ancelotti's man management comes in, it's in a club season where keeping the guys happy will, in the long run, give you its benefits. There's no long run here. This is a month. like,
Yeah.
like, like keeping a guy happy here literally does not matter at all.
Nope.
Like at all. Like I know he's gonna go in there with his ideas of keeping everybody happy, being sort of like a grandfather, like an uncle. Dude, this is the World Cup where you play 8 games in 1 month. It doesn't really matter. If you do not get it right, you would not even be here. So there's no point of babying a certain player. So in August, for example, so in April or May, he's running like a madman and dying for you in the Champions League. When here is like, yeah, you play now and then in 2 weeks, like you could be out of the tournament.
Yep.
There's no point of that. So like in that sense, I think even getting the Ancelotti appointment was bad because his best quality does not fit with the tournament or today's games. Pretty much, it would have been better for them to go out and got the best tactical manager in the Brazilian league, and that would have, in my opinion, would have given him a better chance to go deep in this tournament. Because, like I said, being happy and keeping everybody happy is not going to like give
Yeah.
you anything in this tournament because it's just so
Yeah.
simple.
The demands of a manager for a tournament like this are actually not the qualities that Ancelotti possesses. Quite the opposite. And I think
Exactly.
that's the best way to summarize it. So that's
And the
our
last
thoughts on
thing that I want to
Brazil.
say here is, I'm sorry to cut you off, Javi, is the fact that he brought Neymar into the squad. That pretty much sums in the the grandfather, everybody happy, like the whole nation happy. Let's be honest, you're pretty much he's literally injured again. So so you're pretty much like wasting a whole spot on a guy that you brought in pretty much for vibes. So the whole nation is happy. I'm sorry, but him being injured is not gonna score you a goal. It's not gonna give you a tactical advantage, and that just shows how his way of thinking and his setup is going to a tournament where these are not sort of like the weapons that you need in order to like to win
Nope.
this battle.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Well, let us know what you guys think. Is Ancelotti the right guy? Is this exactly what Brazil has needed that's been struggling for a very, very long time now? Do they have enough players and enough attacking talent to actually be able to get over the line and make it very deep in this tournament? Or is there just something missing there that's going to cause them to fall short? We'd love to know what you guys think.